Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sergio Costa. I'm a firefighter here at Biloxi at Station 1, and this is my partner, Austin Bradley. And today we'll be cooking Greek lemon chicken with a side of lemon herb rice and roasted broccoli. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so to start, we have bone-in skin chicken thighs, and the first step we're going to do is dry them. So, Austin, if you don't mind, if you could begin drying those chicken thighs, I'm going to go ahead and start on our marinade. The marinade is what makes all the combination of flavors work on this recipe. We're going to start off with a few measurements on these ingredients, but I always like to say, as you're making your marinades or seasoning your food, you always do it to taste. Everybody has a different flavor profile that they like to build. So for this recipe, feeds 4. We're going to do a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and I like to eyeball it just after cooking it so many times. There we go, starting to come out now. This is a new bottle. Right. Next, we are going to have 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon. I'm just going to use half of a big one. And what I like to do is, as I'm squeezing the lemon, I usually have a strainer just in case any seeds fall out. Alrighty. Once I have that set up, everything else is really just going to be to taste. So we're going to add some Dijon mustard, some thyme leaves, dry oregano, some salt, black pepper, and finally some minced garlic. Grab us a spoon so we can scoop some up. Thank you, sir. And we're simply just going to mix it all in and combine until it emulsifies into a marinade. All right, so Austin's already dried all the chicken. He has it in a bowl, and all we're gonna do is pour it right over it. Sure. And he's gonna mix it, and then we'll saran wrap it right after. When it comes to chicken thighs and putting the marinade, you want to make sure that all the marinade's inside the chicken, in between the skin, and all that. So all those flavors fuse into the meat. Once we're done with that, you can let it marinate for an hour or 2, depending on how much chicken you have. So this, in this case, we'll just let it marinate for an hour. Go. Awesome. That's perfect.
Some tight gloves you got here.
Yeah. After the chicken marinates for an hour, we'll have the oven preheated at 350, and we'll let it cook for about 45 minutes or until the internal temperature is 165. So our next step is going to be to prepare our lemon herb rice, and I'm going to measure out 3 cups of rice, 3 cups of rice, and next thing we're gonna do is wash it. So a technique I've learned to wash the rice is real simple. Thank you, Austin. You just get a mixing bowl with water, and you simply just let it sit there. And let the water become cloudy, and we'll simply just strain it afterwards and prepare it to cook. Alright, so our next step is going to be to prepare our rice. And first thing we're going to do is preheat our pan. In this case, we're using a cast iron pot. I'm going to add some extra virgin olive oil to it. And while that heats up, I'll make sure I have my ingredients. We're gonna use white onion, minced garlic. Here I have fresh dill and parsley already chopped, mixed together, ready to go. And we're gonna use some more lemon for this lemon herb rice. And most importantly, instead of cooking it in water, we're gonna cook it in chicken stock. It's gonna add a lot more flavor to it. It's already salted, and it's a healthy source of collagen as well. What I like to do when I'm cooking and heating up my pan, I like to just see how easily the oil's flowing around the pot. Starting to look good. I'll lower the heat just a little bit, and I'm going to add the onions first. I'll start cooking them first. Slowly letting it become translucent. And this recipe is very easy to make. I'm a big believer that if you can use fresh ingredients, the better. But if you're ever in a rush, simply buying the onions already chopped at your local supermarket or anything like that is perfectly fine. But this don't take too much to prep. It took us maybe 15-20 minutes to have everything diced ready to go, between all the herbs and the onion and all that. Put a lid on it for now. Alrighty. Typically I like to use fresh garlic. In this case we just got our minced, pardon me. And same thing, just to taste. I like garlic, so I'll just give a good bit right here. And now we'll cook that along with it. I like to add oil as needed. Add a little bit more. Starting to smell the onions and the garlics mixing together. Smells very good. Alright, they're starting to become translucent. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to toast my rice. This is a technique that's not practiced often, but I do feel like it brings a lot of flavor out of that rice. And you'll be able to notice it in the final product. So what I like to do is I'm putting my rice in. I want to make sure that my rice is going to make contact with the entire pot, with the entire bottom of the pot or pan, whatever you're using. So in this case, it looks like we'll be able to use all 3 cups. Put as much as we can in there. And we're just simply going to begin to toast this up. And we're just simply toasting this away. This is a technique I actually learned recently, and I gave it a shot, and I'm probably always gonna cook my rice in this method. You could even smell it already. It smells very, very good. You can tell it's all cooking and cooking together. Alrighty, so we just simply toast the rice real quick. We get our chicken stock. So this chicken stock is already 6 cups. There's 3 cups of rice, 6 cups of chicken stock. So we just multiply it by 2. So the chicken stock differs from broth. Whenever you use broth, you're just using a liquid that an animal bone was used, whether it be beef bones or chicken bones. But when you use stock, it's the actual chicken, and that's why there's so much. That's why it's such a healthy source of collagen. All right. So once we've added our stock, we're gonna just bring to a rapid boil. Speed up the process by putting a lid on this. Once it comes up to a rapid boil, I'm going to lower it to a simmer, and after that point it should take approximately 10 minutes. But it's always good to eyeball it, take a look at it, make sure it's absorbing all the liquid. And I'm a big fan of the taste test. As you're cooking, taste things. You might like a little bit more salt, or you might want to add a little bit more pepper, whatever you like. Alrighty. Right? It's boiling nice. We're going to go ahead and lower the heat. And then I like to just vent it like so. And periodically I'll just check on it, stir it a little bit, and that's it. Pretty much it'll cook itself. Next step is going to be our broccoli. Alrighty folks, so for the next bit, we're going to make our broccoli, or side of broccoli. So first thing we're going to do, we're actually going to put our pan in the oven while the chicken is cooking. So we're going to actually preheat the actual pan that we're going to place our broccoli on. Gives us an opportunity to take a look at our chicken. It's looking good. Take a quick look at our rice while we're here. It's cooking nice. We're going to go ahead and give it a quick stir. Make sure it's vented. Raise the heat just a little bit. All right. So this next piece is very, very simple. We're going to just, this bag right here is washed and ready to eat. So we're just going to basically crack the bag open. Add our broccoli. Add our broccoli, and we're just going to add some extra virgin olive oil to it. And again, measurements are on the recipe, but I like to eyeball my ingredients. Everything to taste. Red pepper flakes. That's actually one of my favorite things about cooking. The more you cook, the more confident you get at just steering away from the recipe and experimenting with different flavors and stuff like that. Salt, pepper, and I would add lemon juice. Freshly squeezed lemon juice. Let's hit it with pepper one more time. And I would also add some lemon zest. I don't have any available right now, but to fix that, we just add a little bit more juice. All right, and then we just begin to mix it. And as I'm mixing it, I like to take a look, see how it's all getting coated. And that's when I'll add a little bit more oil if I need some, maybe a little bit more red pepper. Pinch more, just because I like spicy foods. Last one there. There it is. Yeah, you can smell it. And see the broccoli, you can tell it's getting darker, it's getting coated with all the ingredients. Alrighty. The reason I made it last is because it's going to cook pretty quick. We're going to cook it on one side for 10 minutes or until charred, flip it, and cook it for 5-10 more minutes or until charred. But this one we do have to manage and make sure that it doesn't overcook. So what we're going to do, so I'm going to come over here, check on my rice. It's looking good. I'm going to get my preheated pan out for the broccoli and quickly put my chicken thighs on the top shelf. The reason I'm doing that is so that skin on top of the chicken thigh goes ahead and toasts a whole lot more. It gets real nice and crispy. Because we're at the tail end of our recipe. And we'll just quickly sort everything out. You want to give a little bit of space between your broccoli for it to cook properly and make it easier for you to flip. Make some space on everything. You will typically want to leave it on its side if you can, if the broccoli will sit on its side, so it's easier to flip. And we just sort it out just like so.
Make another batch off the side.
Yeah. Alrighty, in the oven it goes, and this will monitor for 10 minutes. As I'm stirring my rice around, I can tell that there's not much more water left. Everything's been absorbed. So now we go to our final ingredients. I'm gonna lower my heat. So to finish, we're just gonna add some lemon juice, freshly squeezed lemon juice. And then here we have our chopped parsley and fresh dill. Already mixed together. Give it one more stir. And same thing. You're just going to eyeball the amount you're putting in. I'm just going to sprinkle it all around my rice. Once I've done that, I'm going to simply mix it all in. I've turned off my heat completely. Pot's hot enough to keep it cooking. I've mixed in my herbs, and again, just I'm looking at it and I feel it could use a little bit more herbs. It's to preference. I like to really taste everything. That looks good. Mix a little bit more. And like I mentioned before, always give it a little taste. Make sure it's coming out to your liking, to your preference. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and to keep it warm, I'm just gonna close it and leave a gap so it continues to vent. Alrighty, let's take a look at our broccoli. And it's looking good. So we're just gonna pull it out real quick. And we're just gonna quickly turn everything. So you can use a spatula. I always like to use a pair of gloves, just because it's faster. And I think this is one of the most important things to have in the kitchen is a box of cooking gloves. And we're just gonna quickly flip them. They're looking good. Alrighty. Doesn't have to be perfect. And now we're just gonna let it sit in the oven for maybe 5 more minutes. It won't take much longer. I can tell just by the way the color's coming along. And we're ready to pull out our chicken thighs. Alright, there we go. Yep, there's a nice crisp to them. This is perfect. That's it. Now we'll let our chicken thighs sit, because as you can tell, you see the oil is still boiling there. We're gonna let our chicken sit for a moment, and then we're gonna plate our plates. We have our rice plated right here. I'm gonna just help scoot it over to the side a little bit. Make room for our broccoli. And the broccoli is very simple. Let's just get a small handful here. Make it look good, a good source of fiber. Feta cheese. Crumble up some feta cheese on top of it. And this is optional, but a little side of tzatziki sauce. It's a creamy sauce here that pairs really good with this. And finally, our chicken thigh. There you have it, folks. Greek lemon chicken thigh, lemon herb rice, roasted broccoli, topped with feta cheese and a side of tzatziki sauce. And it's a healthy dish, a good source of protein, good source of carbs and fiber, got source of collagen in there, and a great flavor profile. Thanks for joining us at Station 1, and we'll see you again at Biloxi Cooks.